Hello, everyone. Today's documentary explores the complete evolution of Cessna aircraft across nearly a century of aviation history. From early single-engine monoplanes to advanced business jets, each design reflects shifts in technology, economics, and global demand. Cessna became one of the most recognizable names in aviation, shaping pilot training, regional transport, and private flight worldwide. Its aircraft are not defined by one breakthrough, but by consistent refinement over decades. This is the story of how a small manufacturer became a global aviation icon. Cessna Aircraft Company was founded in the late 1920s, during a period when aviation remained experimental and uncertain. Clyde Cessna focused on monoplane designs, rejecting the more common biplane configuration of the era. The company struggled during the Great Depression, but recovered through military production in World War II. After the war, Cessna dominated general aviation with reliable and accessible aircraft. During the Cold War, it expanded into twin-engine and jet-powered designs. By the modern era, Cessna had become a cornerstone of both civilian and business aviation. The Cessna DC-6, introduced in 1929, represented one of the company's earliest successful aircraft. It used a high-wing monoplane layout, improving stability and downward visibility. Powered by a single radial engine, it was designed for private owners and light transport roles. At a time when aviation safety was still developing, the DC-6 demonstrated reliability and practicality. Production remained limited due to economic conditions, but its design philosophy endured. This aircraft established the foundation for nearly every Cessna that followed. The Cessna AW followed soon after as an evolution of earlier designs. Introduced in the early 1930s, it featured a more refined structure and improved aerodynamics. The aircraft retained the high-wing configuration, but incorporated a more powerful engine and better range performance. It was marketed toward business users and private pilots seeking longer flights. However, the economic pressures of the Great Depression limited widespread adoption. Despite this, the AW demonstrated Cessna's commitment to continuous improvement. It marked an early step toward more capable utility aircraft. The Cessna CW6 emerged as another pre-war development, designed with efficiency in mind. It featured a sleek fuselage and enclosed cabin, improving comfort for longer journeys. The aircraft maintained simple construction methods to reduce costs. This balance between performance and affordability would become a defining characteristic of Cessna designs. Only a small number were produced before economic challenges forced production to stop. Even so, the CW6 contributed to the company's growing design experience. It represented persistence during a difficult era. The Cessna T-50 Bobcat, introduced in 1939, marked a major turning point. It was a twin-engine aircraft designed primarily as a military trainer. During World War II, thousands were produced under the designation AT-17. The aircraft trained pilots in multi-engine operations, a critical skill for wartime aviation. It featured wooden construction, which conserved strategic materials like aluminum. Despite its training role, the Bobcat proved reliable and effective. After the war, many were sold into civilian use. It became one of Cessna's first large-scale successes. The Cessna AT-17 was the military version of the T-50, widely used during World War II. It served as a multi-engine trainer for the United States Army Air Forces. Thousands of pilots learned advanced flight techniques in this aircraft. Its simple handling characteristics made it suitable for training under demanding conditions. The use of wood in construction allowed rapid production during material shortages. After the war, surplus aircraft entered civilian markets worldwide. The AT-17 played a quiet but essential role in building wartime air power. The Cessna 120, introduced in 1946, marked Cessna's return to civilian aviation. It was a simple, affordable aircraft aimed at private pilots. Featuring a two-seat configuration and fixed landing gear, it emphasized ease of operation. The design prioritized low cost and reliability over advanced performance. Thousands were produced in the immediate post-war years. It helped reintroduce flying to a new generation of pilots. The Cessna 120 became a symbol of accessible aviation. The Cessna 140 followed closely, offering slight improvements over the 120. It introduced features such as flaps and optional electrical systems, enhancing versatility. While still maintaining simplicity, it provided better control during takeoff and landing. The aircraft quickly became popular among training schools and private owners. Production numbers were strong, reflecting growing demand in post-war aviation. Its design laid the groundwork for future Cessna trainers. The 140 helped define the light aircraft market. The Cessna 170, introduced in 1948, marked the transition toward more capable four-seat aircraft. It retained the high wing configuration, but introduced an all-metal fuselage, improving durability and longevity. Early variants used a tailwheel design, later evolving into tricycle landing gear in subsequent models. The aircraft was widely used for personal transport and light utility roles. Its stable handling made it popular in remote and rugged environments. Over 5,000 units were produced. The 170 established a design path that would directly influence one of the most important aircraft in history. The Cessna 190 and 195 series, introduced in the late 1940s, represented Cessna's high-performance business aircraft of the era. These radial engine planes featured retractable landing gear and luxurious interiors for their time. Built with a rugged aluminum structure, they were designed for corporate transport and executive travel. Their powerful engines allowed higher speeds and improved range compared to earlier models. Production remained relatively limited due to high costs. However, the 190/195 became symbols of prestige in early business aviation. They reflected Cessna's ambition beyond basic trainers. The Cessna 310, first flown in 1954, marked the company's entry into modern twin-engine aviation. It featured sleek lines, wingtip fuel tanks, and retractable landing gear. Designed for business and personal use, it offered increased speed and range compared to single-engine aircraft. The 310 quickly became popular among corporate operators and private owners. Numerous variants were developed over decades of production. Its reliability and performance set new standards for light twins. The aircraft played a key role in expanding Cessna's reputation in more advanced aviation markets. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk, introduced in 1956, became the most produced aircraft in aviation history. It was developed from the earlier 170, but featured tricycle landing gear for easier handling. The aircraft was designed as a trainer and general-purpose aircraft. Its forgiving flight characteristics made it ideal for student pilots. Tens of thousands were built, and it remains in production today. The 172 has been used worldwide for training, surveillance, and personal flying. Its impact on aviation is unmatched. It became a global standard. The Cessna 182 Skylane, introduced in 1956 alongside the 172, offered greater power and payload capacity. It featured a more powerful engine and strengthened airframe. Designed for both personal and utility roles, it could operate from shorter runways and carry heavier loads. The aircraft became popular for bush flying, aerial survey, and general transport. Its versatility allowed it to serve in both civilian and government roles. Continuous upgrades kept it relevant for decades. The Skylane remains one of the most respected high-performance single-engine aircraft.
The Cessna 150, introduced in 1958, became one of the most widely used training aircraft. It was a two-seat, economical aircraft designed specifically for flight schools. Its simple systems and low operating costs made it ideal for beginner pilots. Thousands were produced, and it became a standard training platform worldwide. The aircraft's forgiving handling reduced the risk during early flight instruction. Later variants improved avionics and performance. The 150 helped train generations of pilots. It became one of aviation's most important entry-level aircraft. The Cessna 210 Centurion, introduced in 1960, brought retractable landing gear to single-engine aircraft. This significantly improved speed and aerodynamic efficiency. Designed for business and personal travel, it offered higher performance than earlier models. The aircraft could carry substantial payloads over long distances. It became popular for executive transport and specialized missions. Multiple variants introduced improvements in power and cabin comfort. Production continued for over 2 decades. The 210 represented a major step forward in single-engine performance. The Cessna 336 Skymaster, introduced in 1963, featured an unusual push-pull twin-engine configuration. One engine was mounted in the nose, while the second sat at the rear of the fuselage. This design eliminated asymmetric thrust issues common in traditional twin-engine aircraft. It also improved safety in the event of engine failure. The aircraft was used for personal transport, military observation, and reconnaissance missions. Its distinctive layout made it instantly recognizable. Although not produced in large numbers, the 336 demonstrated innovative thinking in light aircraft design. It marked a unique chapter in Cessna's history. The Cessna 337 Super Skymaster followed in 1965 as an improved version of the 336. It featured more powerful engines, refined aerodynamics, and better overall performance. The aircraft gained widespread use in both civilian and military roles. Notably, it served in the Vietnam War for forward air control and surveillance missions. Its twin-engine configuration provided added reliability in hostile environments. The 337 became more successful than its predecessor, with several thousand units produced. It remained in service for decades. The Super Skymaster proved that unconventional designs could succeed in real operations. The Cessna 177 Cardinal, introduced in 1968, represented a departure from traditional Cessna design. It used the cantilever wing without external struts, improving aerodynamics and visibility. The aircraft also featured a more modern cabin layout with better pilot ergonomics. Initially, it faced performance criticisms due to limited engine power. Later variants addressed these issues with improved engines. The Cardinal appealed to pilots seeking a more refined flying experience. Its clean design influenced future developments. It stood apart from the typical utilitarian look of earlier models. The Cessna Citation 1, introduced in 1972, marked the company's entry into the business jet market. It was a small, twin-engine jet designed for short-range corporate travel. The aircraft prioritized ease of operation, allowing pilots transitioning from propeller aircraft to adapt quickly. It featured straight wings and efficient turbofan engines. Despite modest performance compared to later jets, it became highly successful. Over 600 units were built. The Citation 1 established a new segment of light business jets. It laid the foundation for an entire family of aircraft. The Cessna Citation 2, introduced in 1978, built upon the success of the Citation I. It featured a stretched fuselage, allowing more passengers and increased range. Improved engines provided better climb performance and efficiency. The aircraft maintained the ease of handling that defined earlier Citation models. It became popular among corporate operators and charter services. Production numbers were strong, reflecting growing demand for business aviation. The Citation II demonstrated Cessna's ability to refine and expand its jet lineup. It strengthened the company's position in a competitive market. The Cessna Citation III, introduced in 1982, represented a major leap in performance. It featured swept wings, more powerful engines, and significantly higher cruise speeds. This design allowed it to compete with faster, more advanced business jets. The aircraft also included modern avionics and improved cabin comfort. Its development marked Cessna's transition toward high-performance jet design. Although more complex and expensive, it demonstrated technological progress. The Citation III became a bridge between early light jets and later long-range aircraft. It signaled a new era for the company. The Cessna 402, introduced in the late 1960s, was designed as a commuter and cargo aircraft. It featured twin engines and a spacious cabin, making it suitable for regional airlines. The aircraft could operate from short runways, increasing its versatility. It became widely used for passenger transport, air taxi services, and cargo operations. Many remained in service for decades due to their reliability. Continuous upgrades improved safety and performance over time. The 402 played an important role in regional aviation networks. It supported the growth of short-haul air transport. The Cessna 421 Golden Eagle, introduced in 1967, became one of the company's most advanced piston twin aircraft. It featured pressurized cabins, allowing higher altitude flight with greater comfort. Powered by twin turbocharged engines, it offered strong performance and extended range. The aircraft was widely used for executive transport and air ambulance roles. Its refined systems made it more complex than earlier twins. Despite higher operating costs, it gained a loyal following. Production continued for nearly 2 decades. The 421 represented the peak of Cessna's piston-engine luxury aircraft. The Cessna Caravan 208, first introduced in 1984, was designed as a rugged utility aircraft. Powered by a single turboprop engine, it could carry passengers or cargo in difficult environments. Its ability to operate from short and unprepared runways made it highly versatile. The Caravan became popular with cargo operators, regional airlines, and humanitarian missions. It has been used extensively in remote areas around the world. Continuous upgrades have kept it in production for decades. The aircraft remains a cornerstone of modern utility aviation. Its reliability defines its legacy. The Cessna Citation X, introduced in 1996, was designed for speed. It became one of the fastest civilian aircraft in the world at the time. Featuring highly swept wings and powerful turbofan engines, it could cruise at near supersonic speeds. The aircraft targeted high-end corporate clients requiring rapid, long-distance travel. Its advanced avionics and aerodynamic design marked a major technological step forward. Production remained limited due to high costs. However, it set new benchmarks for business jet performance. The Citation X symbolized Cessna's engineering ambition. The Cessna Citation CJ series, beginning in the early 1990s, expanded the light jet market. These aircraft were designed as more efficient and modern successors to earlier Citation models. They featured improved fuel efficiency, updated avionics, and lower operating costs.
The series included multiple variants, each offering increased range and performance. These jets became widely used in corporate aviation and charter services. Their accessibility made business jet travel more attainable. The CJ series continues to evolve today. It remains a key pillar of Cessna's jet lineup.
The Cessna Citation Sovereign, introduced in 2004, bridged the gap between midsize and long-range jets. It offered high cruise speeds, long range, and the ability to operate from shorter runways. This combination made it highly flexible for business travel. The aircraft featured modern avionics and a spacious cabin. It became popular among operators needing both performance and versatility. Continuous improvements enhanced efficiency and reliability. The Sovereign strengthened Cessna's position in the competitive business jet market. It reflected a balance between capability and practicality. The Cessna Citation Latitude, introduced in 2015, focused on cabin comfort and efficiency. It featured a wider fuselage than earlier models, providing more space for passengers. Advanced avionics and efficient engines improved operational performance. The aircraft quickly became one of the best-selling business jets in its class. Its combination of range, comfort, and cost-effectiveness made it highly attractive. Operators valued its reliability and modern systems. The Latitude demonstrated Cessna's adaptation to contemporary aviation demands. It became a commercial success in a competitive market. The Cessna Citation Longitude, introduced in 2019, represents the modern peak of Cessna's business jet development. It offers intercontinental range, high cruise speeds, and advanced flight systems. The aircraft includes a fully digital cockpit and improved fuel efficiency. Designed for long-distance executive travel, it competes with leading jets in its class. Its quiet cabin and refined design emphasize passenger comfort. The Longitude reflects decades of accumulated experience. It stands as one of the most advanced aircraft Cessna has produced. Cessna's history reveals a consistent pattern of gradual evolution rather than sudden transformation. From simple monoplanes to advanced business jets, each design built upon lessons from earlier aircraft. The company focused on reliability, accessibility, and continuous improvement. This approach allowed Cessna to dominate general aviation and remain competitive in business aviation. Its aircraft trained millions of pilots and connected remote regions worldwide. By balancing innovation with practicality, Cessna maintained long-term relevance. This steady progression became its greatest strategic strength. From the fragile DC-6 of 1929 to the sophisticated Citation Longitude, Cessna's journey reflects nearly a century of aviation progress. Each aircraft contributed to a broader legacy of accessibility and reliability. The company shaped how people learned to fly, travel, and conduct business in the air. Its designs became standards rather than exceptions. Through economic crises, global wars, and technological shifts, Cessna adapted and endured. Today, its aircraft continue to operate across the world. The story of Cessna is ultimately a story of persistence, refinement, and lasting influence.